Hi everyone, my name is Nabila Hanarania. I'm from the University of Groningen and also Institute Technology Bandung. And today I'll be sharing to you my thesis paper pertaining to the topic of the influence of culture towards the purchase intention of beauty enhancing products to achieve natural beauty. Evidence from Indonesia and the Netherlands. So let's begin with the introduction. So, as we all know, over the years, women's pursuit of beauty has become so strong that the beauty industry outperforms most consumer categories since 2013. But recently, the no makeup movement has gained global attention, and women from over 100 countries agree that natural beauty is the ideal beauty standard in current style beauty trends. However, the term natural beauty might differ across women coming from different social backgrounds, as they might have different perceptions of beauty and how to attain it, and differences in tolerating a deviant behavior. As such, self-control can play a significant role in determining one's purchase intention for beauty-enhancing products, mediated by the role of conformity to social norms. This brings us to the following research question. To what extent does culture influence a consumer's purchase intention for natural beauty-enhancing products? And also the following sub-research questions. What are the key factors of culture that influence the type of natural beauty-enhancing products sought out between interdependent consumers and independent consumers? And how does consumers need to conform to social norms after decision to buy beauty-enhancing products? We will talk more about interdependent and independent later on in the literature. Now we move on to the literature review. So the main products researched in this paper is about natural beauty products. So we'll define the definition, categorizations too. So natural beauty is commonly associated with a physical appearance that is untouched by human intervention and the lack of using artificial appearance enhancing products to accentuate beauty. This means a flawless and healthy natural look, which is not helped by any cosmetics whatsoever. However, beauty enhancing products involve cosmetics such as skincare or makeup that improve the appearance of the individual and ultimately increase attractiveness. So, in short, even though natural beauty is associated with a look untouched by human intervention, beauty-enhancing products can actually help consumers achieve an artificial natural beauty look, such as using skincare or any products that hide blemishes to achieve a flawless-looking appearance. We move on to the definition of self-control. So self-control is how an individual perceives and defines themselves, and as such this causes individuals with different self-control to react differently towards situations and have different values. So but what is exactly self-control? So self-control is basically how an individual perceives themselves through which is influenced by the fact of culture. And in this case, there are two types of self-control, being independent and interdependent self-control. So independent self-control are individualistic individuals who construct their identity as autonomous in values being distinct from others. And people who exhibit independent self-control are usually associated with Western cultures, as Western cultures, using Hofstede's cultural dimensions, are promoting individualism more, meaning individualism is highly correlated to the term independent, while interdependent is individuals who construct their identity as self through their attributes of social roles and relationships with others because they value conformity. And in this case, this is highly promoted to Asian cultures who promote collectivist cultures. Moving on to the correlation to self-control and beauty. As we touched before, self-control is highly influenced by what cultural background an individual has, with an interdependent self-control usually associated with Asian culture, while independent associated with Western culture. And the correlation with self-control and beauty is that interdependents have a higher need to conform to norms, which makes the ideal beauty more so in their mind. Why? Because ideal beauty means this is the standard beauty which society promotes. The individuals with high public self-consciousness is shown to try to improve their appearance in order to improve social interactions, as beauty is the norm for society. And because there's a high correlation between these two, the first hypothesis proposes that interdependent consumers will have a higher purchase intention for beauty-enhancing products, driven by the need to pursue natural beauty more so than independent consumers. And we move on to the second proposed topic, as we touched upon conformity to norms before. But what exactly is conformity? Conformity is when an individual adapts their behavior to match the response of others. And in this case, is distinguished between two categories: informational conformity motivation, which is a desire to behave correctly, which is mostly driven by ethical concerns, while normative conformity motivation is in which the individual strives to obtain social approval by following the norms set by society. And when most research shows that interdependent self-consumed are more likely to conform to others' wants, as they value conformity, and also they care about what society thinks of them, in contrast to independents who are more concerned about their well-being. And as such, following proposed hypotheses are as follows. So self-control, being interdependent versus independent in this research, will be positively associated to conform with social norms. That was 2B. Conformity to social norms will be positively associated to purchase intention, and conformity to social norms will mediate the relationship between self-control and purchase intention of beauty enhancing products. And in short, that's what. So conformity to social norms will act as the mediator for this. And this is my conceptual model. As we can see, self-control has a positive association with conformity to social norms, and purchase intention for beauty enhancing products that enhance natural beauty have a positive association with conformity to social norms. Now we move on to the research methodology. So for the population and sample, before I begin, for the population and sample, this research uses a quantitative approach, and to represent interdependence and independence, we choose Indonesians to represent interdependence and the Netherlands to represent the independence. Why did we choose Indonesia specifically? Because Indonesia is an emerging economy with one of the biggest markets for the beauty industry, and Western Europe is currently one of the 3 biggest markets for the beauty industry. And also, most papers are focused only on East Asian countries for representing Asians, while in contrast, most papers use USA to represent Western culture, and as such, there is limited research on these 2 countries. So the procedure is, we collect this data through an online survey using Qualtrics, and we also use a stratified sampling method, meaning I did not use this. For this procedure, the data collection, we use an online survey using Qualtrics and stratified sampling method, and we prepared 2 questionnaires with different sample groups. So the first one is Pretest, because though natural beauty by most papers is regarded as current societal beauty trends, the paper would like to make sure that natural beauty is a term familiar by the people, and if they do agree that natural beauty is the current societal beauty trends or is promoted to be. And the main questionnaire involves a survey that involves the topics of self-control, natural beauty enhancing products, and conformity to social norms by asking participants to evaluate a hypothetical product. And as you can see on my right, that there is the hypothetical product which promote natural beauty. So before I begin explaining the measurements, so to evaluate the reliability of each test items using the questionnaire and pretest, convex alpha was used, and a good measurement of one's convex alpha is a score of 0.6 and above. And luckily, all the items used have a convex alpha of 0.6 above. So first, for the self-control, for self-control, we identify it with Indonesian and Dutch participants. So we use countries as a proxy for self-control, with 1 measuring Indonesian participants and 0 representing Dutch participants. And we also have a manipulation check at the end of the main questionnaire. We use 3 items to measure interdependent self-control and 3 items to measure independent self-control from single to self-control scale. And for the dependent variable, we have the purchase intention, and we use Smith et al. And Rogers 4 items, so it's a mixture between these 2 items. And a higher score indicates that with a higher purchase intention, with a low score indicating a lower purchase intention. And for a mediator, we have conformity to social norms using the Mahavian and Stoffel scale. However, as you can see, we only have one independent variable and one dependent variable, and some might be concerned with omitted variable bias. That's why we opt to use control variables. And in this paper, the use is 3, which is added towards advertisement visual, brand attitude, and age. Participants are familiar with the term natural beauty and how it is promoted as the ideal beauty standard across the countries. And we have the first result, we have the first result, which means that Indonesians are more interdependent than Dutch participants. We used independent samples to test, and we found that the test was significant, and as such, we can assume that the average self-control of Dutch participants differ from the average self-control scores of Indonesians, and we see from the mean that the Dutch participants are more independent than Indonesian participants, with a positive mean meaning that they are more interdependent, more negative or lower meaning they are more independent. Second result is that interdependence do indeed have a higher purchase intention than independence for beauty products. So we used one-way ANOVA and ANCOVA. The results of the one-way ANOVA were found to be significant, meaning that self-control and interdependence were have a significant positive influence on purchase intention of the beauty enhancing products. Dutch participants were also found to have a lower purchase intention for beauty products than Indonesian participants. And self-control is still found to be significant even when running an ANCOVA. And thus, hypothesis 1 is supported. Then we move on to the next finding, which is self-control has a positive, significant effect on an individual's willingness to conform to social norms. So this is using Hayes' mediation model, and which I will show you later, the model. So the finding is that self-control indeed has a positive, significant effect on an individual's willingness to conform to social norms. So this is pertaining to the first individual pathway, which is self-control to the mediator. And even when running the control variables, age, advertisement, and brand, the results are still significant. As you can see, we have no zeros in between the confidence interval, and as such, hypothesis 2A continues to be supported. So this is the mediation model. So as you can see, the first one, self-control is significantly positively influenced, and the second finding is conformity to norms is significantly positively associated with one's self-control to their purchase intention for beauty-enhancing products that enhance natural beauty, which means that the conformity to social norms mediates the relationship. See the conclusion. So the findings of this study provided evidence that interdependence, represented by Indonesians, and independence, represented by Dutch people, hold different purchase intentions or beauty products that enhance natural beauty. As you can see, the results showcase that. As seen in the results of the ANOVA of 199 ballot observations, independents exhibit higher purchase intentions for beauty-enhanced products, more so to independent consumers. The results of the ANOVA also show that this variable self-control was found to be the only variable present to present a significant effect on the mean of purchase intention for beauty products that enhance natural beauty. And while the control variables, age, brand attitude, and advertisement visual provided insignificant results, and therefore was not controlled for this research. Hypothesis 1, 2A, and 2B and 2C are supported. So, in short, interdependents are more likely to purchase beauty-enhancing products more so than independent individuals. And we also found that one's willingness to conform to social norms will drive the consumption behavior and patterns of the consumer. And a higher willingness to conform to social norms increases consumption behavior for beauty-enhanced products, specifically the ones that enhance natural beauty. Conclusion. And this is all from me. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me through the email I presented in the beginning of the slides. And have a nice day.